Thank you for joining. I'm a registered psychotherapist practicing in Ontario, and I'm sharing daily uh, strategies that might help your mental health. Today, I will be speaking about mindfulness and how you can use mindfulness in your daily life in order to support your mental well-being. Everyone has been using this term in recent years, but most people don't really know what does it mean. And a phrase I often hear from people around me is that they would say, "My mind never stops. I can't stay in the present moment. I can't study." And this is like most of people also have some bias against mindfulness. They think that if you are doing mindfulness work, you need to sit in one place and meditate. However, it doesn't have to be that way. There are many strategies of mindfulness that you can use in daily life, and it can help to considerably improve your mental well-being, ability to focus and concentrate. So, what is mindfulness? Let's start with the opposite. Most of us spend our days living in an autopilot. Autopilot means, for instance, imagine if you were trying to reach some destination, if you are driving and if you notice some moments of lost time, and if you didn't notice how you have reached destination, this means that you were on autopilot, and while your body was here, your mind was either in the past or in the future. And especially if you feel stressed or if you are experiencing symptoms of depression or anxiety, it might be more difficult to stay in the present moment. And strategies of mindfulness help to stay focused, to stay present, and there is a lot of research that supports that mindfulness considerably improves depression, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. So most of time we spend our time thinking about the past experiences we had, or we are trying to plan for the future or thinking about the worst case scenarios, whereas it becomes even more difficult to stay uh, in the present moment. Or on the contrary, we're trying to finish 5 things at once. That also makes it challenging for the mind to stay present. So our minds are constantly somewhere, but our body is somewhere else. And mindfulness is this consciously bringing your attention to the present moment. So, how does the brain work in mindless mode? The brain has a network called default mode network, which is activated when the mind wanders into the past. It thinks about the future, it criticizes itself, and it results in your hours of spending your time in your head. When this network is overly active, anxiety increases, depressive thoughts increase, and stress arises. Mindfulness calms this network, and logically, it helps to decrease depression symptoms, anxiety symptoms, and any other challenges. So, how can mindfulness be practiced? Mindfulness doesn't have to involve meditation. You can start by paying attention to your breath, for instance, anytime when you feel that you are worried or you are experiencing panic attack symptoms or you feel a lot of anxiety or worries. Simply noticing your breath, paying attention to your breath can help to calm down and to bring your attention into the present moment. Or while you are eating, solely focusing on your food or feeling your steps while walking or watching things that are around you, paying attention to texture, shapes, colors, noises, smells, sounds can help you to bring your attention into the present moment. And each time when you would notice that your mind is wandering or you are worrying, you can ask yourself what's happening right now around you and what you want to do, what's important for you to do at a certain moment. For instance, if you are trying to study and if you notice that your mind wanders into the past or into the future, gently inviting yourself, your attention into the present moment and asking what was important for you to do at that moment, why you were studying, and trying to focus back can help to train your brain. And by time you would notice that each time you do it, it will get easier to stay present. So The main point behind mindfulness is bringing your mind back without judgment when it wanders. And why does it work? Because mindful awareness reduces amygdala activity, it lowers stress hormones, it strengthens the prefrontal cortex. So it has both biological and psychological effects and positive impacts. Mindfulness is not about silencing the mind, it's about noticing when the mind wanders, and noticing is the first step towards change. For instance, maybe you have some thoughts such as, I can't study, my mind won't stop. What's usually happening is that you are getting so close to that thought that it gets difficult to focus your attention on anything else. So, also noticing your thoughts that are disturbing you, and reminding yourself that these are just thoughts can help to create space for something else, for focusing, for concentration, and shifting your attention to what matters at that time can help to diffuse yourself from the thoughts that you might have. And while, for instance, if you have thoughts such as, I can't study, my mind won't stop, if you don't notice that these are just thoughts, it will be more difficult for you to focus. But once you accept and notice that these are just thoughts, and once you notice that you are the one who is having space for these thoughts, this would help you to create more space for studying, for experiencing something different. Because fusion means you are not just having a thought, you are inside the thought. Instead of saying, I'm having the thought that this is hard, it becomes, this is impossible. And mindfulness helps to create space, and space creates choice. It's also very highly linked to depression symptoms. A person who has depression symptoms, there is a lot of fusion when a person has depression symptoms, because it gets more difficult to notice your thoughts. And once you are able to notice any depressed thoughts, it will be easier to create space and to create choice for yourself to act differently despite uncomfortable feelings and negative thoughts. For instance, maybe your mind is criticizing yourself and telling that you are a bad person, that you are a failure. And noticing that these are just thoughts would help to create a distance between your thoughts and yourself, and would create a choice for you to act in line with what's important for you, even during the times when your mind will be telling the opposite. So if you're For instance, imagine how you would like to respond to challenging feelings or challenging conversations, challenging experiences. If you already started to show up when you have these sad feelings, anxious feelings, depressed feelings, what would other people notice about you that you are doing? How would your voice change? How would you listen to other people? And what would other people notice about you that's happening? They might see that you are tired, but you are still trying. Maybe you are quiet, but you will still show some signs that you care about people, even when you feel anxious, when you feel depressed. What would so uh, So, taking action and being mindful doesn't always require being perfect or having endless energy. It requires noticing your thoughts, noticing your feelings, even in daily life, and taking action towards what matters for you, even during difficult times. I hope this conversation was useful for you. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave your questions in the comments, and I will be glad to support you more further.